Welcome back to Fanimattz YouTube channel. If you're just stopping by for the first time, do well to subscribe to my channel. To my old subscribers, you guys already know that I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your Iro and Buba style. Are you not excited? I'm supposed to hear yeah. So very quickly, I'm going to be taking you on how to take the measurement for Iro and Buba. Taking the measurement for Iro and Buba is quite different from taking your regular measurements, okay? So Iro and Buba, one thing I want you guys to know is that Iro and Buba does not have shoulder joining, just like this, my outfit, okay? Iro and Buba does not have shoulder joining, okay? There's no shoulder seam on Iro and Buba style, okay? So to take your accurate measurement for Iro and Buba, the first thing you need to do is to take your measurement tape and you place it on the nape of your neck, on your client's neck. When I say nape of the neck, I mean the highest part of your neck, okay? So this part is the highest part of my neck, okay? So I'm just going to place the tape right there, and then I'll take the length that I desire for my client, okay? So for my client, I use 27 inches for my client. You can make yours shorter if that's what you want, but it's better to make it long so that when your client ties their wrapper on it, the blouse won't be popping out from the wrapper, okay? That's why you have to make it a bit longer so that when you tie the wrapper, your blouse stays firm underneath your wrapper, okay? You can do 26 inches, 27 inches, depends on the height of your client, okay? So just take note of that. The next thing you want to do is to take your tape, okay? There's a bone at the back here. You just put your tape there. This bone here is called the nape of the neck, okay? So that's where you're going to place your measuring tape, okay? So I'll just place my measuring tape like so, and then I will stretch out my arm, or you stretch out the arm of your client, and then you take down the length that your client desire, okay? In those days, our mommies used to wear their buba very long like so, but these days we don't want it like that. It still depends on you. Some people still wear their buba like that. Does not change anything. But for the young girls now, we want it like 3/4 length, elbow length, or even shorter, okay? So it depends on you, and it depends on what your client wants, okay? So after placing the tape on the nape of your neck like so, you just put the tape down, and then you take down the measurement, okay? When you take down that measurement, you write that down. The next thing you're going to do is to take your tape and put it round your bust like so, and then you take down that measurement. You take your waist measurement, and then you take your hip circumference measurement like so, okay? So when after jotting down your measurement, your waist, your hip, and your bust measurement, you now check the one that is bigger. Most times it's actually the hip that is bigger than the other part, but this is not for everybody, as we have different sizes and different shapes, okay? Some people happen to be bigger on the upper part of their body, while some is the hip part that is bigger, but most people, you have their hip bigger. So for my client, her hip is bigger than the other part of her body, okay? So that's the measurement that I'm going to be using for my buba, okay? So after taking your measurement for your client, you will now add 6 inches to the biggest part of your measurement. Okay, I will explain further why you need to add 6 inches to your measurement when we get to the drafting table. Okay, guys, let's go to the drafting table, guys. That is where the magic happens.
I've gone ahead to cut out my wrapper. I'm using a 5 yards lace fabric for this project. So I've cut out my wrapper and I've hemmed the edges to make it look neat. So I'm just going to fold this wrapper and keep it aside so that I can concentrate on the buba. So first thing you want to do is to take your buba and fold it to the wrong side, because that's where we'll be marking our chalk on. Fold it into two like so. So I'm folding selvage to selvage. If your buba has plenty lace edge, you might want to cut out one of the lace edge first before folding your fabric. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to get the length I want for my buba. So I will just measure the length like so, and I'll add my 1 inch seam allowance, which is 28 inches. So I'm going to fold it like so again. So if you know how to cut out flay, how to cut your flay, so that's basically how I'm folding this buba. So after folding, I will cross check my measurement again and adjust it if it's too short or too long. So now I'm going to cut this out, and I'll keep the other part for my head tie. So you might want to adjust your buba, okay, so that you can work on the actual length. Okay, so I already have my measurement on the screen earlier. So I've added my 6 inches allowance. So I'm just going to divide that measurement by 4, and I'm going to place the measurement down like so and cut. So I will advise that you manage your fabric when you want to do this project. You can see I have too much excess that I'll be cutting out. Please manage your fabric when you are doing this so that you will not have too much joining on your gele. So I have just mark out 13.5 inches on my fabric. Don't forget that we already did this calculation earlier. So I have 13.5 inches on my fabric. So I'm going to cut this out like so. And I'll put the excess aside. So for the neck width, I'll be doing 3.5 inches for the neck width. Make sure that your buba, the neckline is not too wide, because you might not be able to adjust this. So I'm using 4 inches for the neck depth. My client does not want her buba neckline to be too wide. Okay, so I did 3.5 by 4 inches. You might want to do 3.5 by 5 inches or by 6 inches, depending on what you want. Okay, so I'm cutting the front neckline and the back neckline together, okay, so that the head can pass through it. So this is how the circle I have looks like. Okay, so that's the neckline. You can see what it looks like when I fold the fabric into two. So I'm just going to fold the fabric again and notch the shoulder point. So after notching the shoulder point, I'm going to be taking 10 inches for the armhole. And on the hem of the fabric, I'll be going up by 6 inches. So I'll mark the 6 inches like so. And I'll sew from that armhole till I get to that 6 inches mark. So I'll be using 1 inch seam allowance for my buba and the shoulder and to join the sleeve. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now, to get the measurement you need for your sleeve, you need to measure your buba. For my sleeve, I am using 25.5 inches for my sleeve length. So I already have 13.5 inches for my buba. So I'll minus 1 inch from the buba measurement, because I'll be using 1 inch to join to the sleeve. Okay, so the measurement I have left to complete my buba is 13 inches. So I'll be adding 1 inch to that to give me 14 for the joining allowance for the sleeve. So if you are using an Ankara fabric, you might want to fold the edge of your fabric before marking your 14 inches for your sides, for your seam allowance. But because mine is lace and it has a lace edge, I won't be needing to fold the edge of my fabric. Okay, so my sleeve, I used 10 inches for my sleeve opening. So I'll be adding 1 inch to that 10 inches to give me 11 inches. So that's the 11 inches I just marked out now, and I'm just going to cut it out like so. So I cut out the two sleeves together. So this is how your buba sleeve should look like. If you're on the slim side, you might want to make your armhole smaller, okay? But 10 inches is accurate for my client. So now I'll be using this bias to pipe the neckline of the buba, and I will show you what I have. So now I'm done piping the neckline with bias. You can see what this looks like. And I'm gonna have to sew 1 inch on both sides of my buba, leaving my armhole open. So on the 6 inches part, I'm just going to hem. I'll just double fold it like so, and I'll sew this down, and I will hem the bottom as well. So now I've sewn that down like so, as you can see how this is looking, and I've done the rolled hem as well. So now I'll be concentrating on the armhole. So I cut out 11 inches for my sleeve. As you can see, I've gone ahead to sew down 1 inch to remain 10 inches so that it will fit perfectly on my buba sleeve. So I've sewn down both sides, both sleeves. So I'll turn that inside out like so. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to notch the shoulder point of my sleeve. I'll notch both sleeves. So I'm going to insert the right side of my buba, of my sleeve, into the buba like so. So my buba is facing the wrong side. So now I'm merging them right sides facing each other. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to merge that my side seam and my sleeve side seam. I'll merge them together like so, and I'll merge the shoulder as well. I'll merge the notches I have on the shoulder, and I'll pin that down. So after I pin down the sleeve, I'm going to sew from that point where my sleeve joining stopped. I will start from that point and I'll end on that point. I will sew around till I get to that point. I'm not going to sew across. You start from the point where the sleeve joining stopped, and then you sew till you get to that same point. Do not exceed the point, because if you exceed that point, you might have your buba having wrinkles on the armhole. So open the side seam like so, and then you sew from where the seam stopped to where the other seam will stop again. So I'm just arranging my sleeve. Don't forget, we are using 1 inch for the sleeve joining. If you use half an inch to join your side buba, the side seam of your buba, that means the seam you will join for your shoulder as well will be half an inch. But because I used 1 inch for my side seam, I'm going to maintain that 1 inch as well to join the sleeve. So I'm just pinning down the other sleeve, and I'll take this now to the sewing machine and join both sleeves together. So now I'm done joining my sleeve. You can see how this looks. Our buba is ready. So sewing your buba is very simple. You can see how relaxed my armhole is looking. You can see how relaxed the sleeve is and how relaxed the armhole is looking. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to iron this properly. So now, because I did not manage my fabric very well, I will have to have joining on my head tie. Okay, so please make yours better than mine. You can see I have joining on my gele. So I will advise that you mark out your 13 inches properly so that you will not have too much to cut out from the buba. Okay, guys, I'll just fold and iron this off camera, and then I'm going to deliver this to my client. So because I'm using a blaze buba, I'll be sewing an inner for my buba.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the cutting and the sewing tutorial. Do well to subscribe to my channel. We all know that your Iro and Buba style is not complete when you don't have gele. This is why Lagbaja sang Oni gele is kentele, ejo mas kontolo, Oni gele yo. So your Iro and Buba style is not complete without your gele. I have a video on my YouTube channel on how to join your gele properly like a pro. I'll leave the link of that video in the description box. Do well to subscribe to my channel. Any part of the video you are finding difficult, I'm gonna still take my time to explain further to you. So guys, I'll see you on my next one. But for now, stay blessed.